we now return to a very convoluted case, refuting the accusation. We were the only two people up on that roof deck, dead or alive, I can swear to that. If anything had happened where we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed? In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. But we just determined that it was untrue. No. It was his motivation would have been putting it on McGilded, right? Unless they thought it was McGilded. The skylight was shut the entire time, I'll tell you. We couldn't have possibly opened it. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I must say that on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine how either witness could have performed any malevolent act on his open rooftop deck. So they got on afterward, perhaps? Without the other noticing forthwith. That's right. You see, we're innocent, I'll tell you. Although logically, of course, the argument falls down if the two of you were in collusion with one another. What? Eh? According to investigations by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings. Well, I don't trust couples any more than I trust the stinking rich. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really. So why do I feel so uneasy? Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. We were the only two people on the roof.
Hold it!
So at no time did the victim, Mr. Mason, climb up to join you on the roof deck? Absolutely not. Heck it. No question about it, he said. None at all. Oh, but yes. Of course, I remember seeing them both. I saw the victim inside the enclosed cabin talking with this man here. Is this true, Mr. McGilded? Dear me, my lord, at the risk of repeating myself, I boarded the omnibus alone and nodded off inside almost immediately. That's an outright lie. Without doubt, you were engaged in... Let me stop you there, fella, and ask, do you have any evidence at all? At all? Ah. It is all about evidence in the courts these days, so it is. You do well to remember that. I saw you are with my own eyes. It's going so well. If anything happened where we were sitting, I don't know where I'm at anymore. If anything had happened where we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed? Why have you got this accent now? Shit, I didn't push on that one.
Hold it!
Well, it was on the final run of the omnibus at past 10 o'clock in the evening. It would certainly have been quite dark, perhaps too dark to see clearly. Is this some kind of lark? Is this oh fuck, I've completely lost it. Is this some kind of joke, he said. Is that what this is? Or perhaps one or the other of you fell asleep briefly. Are you fair dinkum, sir? Are you serious, sir? That's what you said. It's impossible, I tell you. I'd give you the keys to the vault if you could fall asleep in that bit of code. And if you did manage it, your eyelids would freeze shut and you'd never open them again. That's extreme. It was extreme, I'll tell you, and we had to put up with it because this man had locked the door. Any true gent would have unlocked it and let me in when I knocked. I'm dreadfully sorry about that, young fella. But you see, I was away with the fairies and I didn't hear you at all. That's a lie. I saw you through the glass and you were talking to someone. The girl? Now, it was a cold night, so it was. People do... people do be seeing things that aren't real in the cold. It's hardly surprising. Seeing things. I believe we have reached an impasse here on this particular point. You not... Don't take it personally now, lad. If I'm a suspect in this case, then it's only fair you and the others are too. Open and free competition is what a capitalist society is all about. This isn't a competition I should like to be involved in, really. Okay, in any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man.
Hold it!
So you had never met Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason before? Oh, no. Not once, never. You'd never met the man before, you said? Never. And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either? That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir. No, I imagine not. See? How many different ways can I put this? Neither of us have the remotest connection.
No.
To the gentlemen who were inside the cabin.
Excuse me.
Mr. McGilded. Yes, counsel, what can I be doing for you? Did the witness's last statement give you pause for thought somehow? Not the remotest connection. Is that right now? I wonder. Well, what are you insinuating now? Mr. Fairplay. It has been too long, so it has. Eh? If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe 'tis fast approaching, is it not? Your repayment date. I beg your pardon? You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir. At an unconscionable rate of interest. You tricked me. It's extortion. Well now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? Jesus. The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fella to pass his crimes off on another. Yeah. And young Mr. First. Me, sir? What do you want with me, sir? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? That there top hat sliding about on your head, is that one of your own creations, is it? I'm still just an apprentice, you understand? I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whenever a fine gent walks through the door. The perfect fit, is it? Well, it's a very distinctive design, so it is. Many customers like it, I'll tell you. They like a distinctive touch. Customers? Such as the thrice-fired Mason. There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence afore, my lord. This you mean? Sorry, I had to adjust and didn't want my creaking chair playing through everything. I can't help thinking that the poor fellow's hat looks distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? Oh, that's one of my hats. Aye, that it is. So it seemed the brickmaker was a customer of yours. Sort of customer, I'd wager. You could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctiveness of the goods. Oh no, sir. Absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't the remotest connection to the victim, you see. I rest my case. You little weasel. He's better at this than I am. Gosh, Mr. McGillett has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he? Please don't let me little interruption hold up the proceedings. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it.
Hold it!
Are you quite certain about that? That the skylight was shut the entire time? I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute. He's gonna lose his rag for you in a minute. That's what he said. Take a look for yourself. Go on. You see, it's shut fast now, just like it was on that night. On the night. But... so it is, of course. A fellow the size of Mr. Mason could likely break through that, still and all. But no, I mean, the latch is literally right there on top. What? Just looking at the size of the thing, you'd understand. You understand. Now you hold on there a minute, sir. The size of the thing means nothing. Not only so, let's consider the bigger picture. Bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind. Loudly. I'll shock myself with it as it happens. This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First. Well, I mean to say, well, what is? I tried to open the skylight, you see. But, just my luck, I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went as red as a rouge, I did. Are you expecting me to sentence you? Oh, no, sir. The point is, the skylight can't be opened. Not from the inside.
That ain't...
I tried and tried when I was inside that cabin of shame.
Excuse me!
Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade. It opens. The skylight. Here's what we're talking about, right? Who lets people walk around with weapons in these goddamn courtrooms? All them skylights open. Dead easy. More easily than you can load that weapon. That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, I... You can't do it from inside, you mug. Uh-oh. A few weeks ago, I was up on the roof of deck of one of them drags, and I had a great haul. I mean, I had purses coming out my ears. Miss Lestrade, this is not the forum to be eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities. Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. Now you've slipped too. Everyone will. Tis the curse. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise to me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't hop off. I couldn't hop off the bus and leg it. So what I did was I used a skylight, opened the catch, jumped right through. But yeah, the catch for them skylights is on the top side. That's why you can't open them from the cabin. The skylight opens from the roof deck. Bailiff! Climb up on the roof of the omnibus at once. Verify this witness's claims. Jesus Christ, I literally found all this stuff within like the first 2 seconds of this thing being introduced. Oh, my hat. See? Order, order. So, it appears that this street girl's statement is quite true. I don't believe it. The skylight opens, and from the roof deck, Mr. Naruhodo. This could be the clue we've been looking for. Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. So the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself. I mean, I did, but I guess it wants me to go in here anyway. I feel very much that I already did this. So the skylight was fastened shut before, but now the catch has been undone. We should be able to open it. Do it again? You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin, so I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly. It's not good for us. I mean, okay? I don't think it's going to let me look at it from... Blood! 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 You can certainly... Oh, fuck. That's not... No. There is blood on the damned thing. What the... People! Fuck. So I guess we have to go in and look at it from this direction, apparently, then. Yes, yes, yes. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Oh. Oh, there is some blood on the floor. That wasn't there before, was it? That's blood, isn't it? Yes. Something wrong? It's just, well, this bloodstain is so obvious that that's all. And yet, Van Zieks has made no mention of it. I suppose that does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Wide enough to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. Why someone like me? Ah, what is it? Look, just here. Look at this. That's, without question, it's blood. Why would there be a blood stain there? Surely, it can't be unrelated to the case, can it? The details of the omnibus have been updated in the court record. The scene of the crime, there's bloodstain visible in the frame of the skylight when it is opened. Alright, I think we're done here. That's what we came for. Very good, Mr. Naruhodo. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I mean, should I just present now?
Objection!
On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach, and immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts, and the irrefutable proof remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. What? That's utter humbug. You can't possibly have any evidence. No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible. Irrefutable proof. Here, in this courtroom. Counsel. My lord. I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here, Where exactly within the omnibus is this evidence to which you allude? We'll point out what it is that proves the victim fell from the roof deck through the skylight. Okay. Yes, it does. What the... Come on! I know.
Got it!
By Jupiter! Is that... blood? This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. What? And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. Oh my. And so it follows that Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime. No. Order.
Hold it!
But the blood could have been sprayed up there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin. What, from like an artery? It only found its way to that one particular spot on the skylight. Sure, and that would be very convenient. And let's keep it in mind that the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't be able to open it now, would I? But, There's no way to know for certain, is there? If the gent really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? It is all too plain, if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the... Fuck, where are we now? There's the aftermath that shows the poor fellow had dropped from a fair height right there, so it is. What? No. But it can't be. It's all... lies.
Hold it!
My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we? I believe we can, yes, sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So they thought they could pull the wool over me eyes, did they? I won't tolerate any of the guild's carriages being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it. Oh, I always knew that nice gentleman who gave us that delightful part couldn't have done such a thing. Why are you talking like this now? It's such... Oh my god, this is totally screwed my brain. On three then, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Objection!
A chilling performance, Mr. McGilded. Oh, and what would you be referring to there now, Lord Van Zieks? A bloodstain on the frame of the skylight. Such evidence is null and void. But why? For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood had never existed.
Objection!
What are you talking about? It's there for all to see, and it's clearly blood.
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. I mean, to be fair, that blood on the floor did just appear out of nowhere. I'm pretty sure I didn't see that the first time I was in there. So I can state with absolute surety, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least not until this trial began. But are you suggesting, Lord Van Zieks, that this stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes. And while this court has been in session. Nani? God, the twists and turns in this game. What a palaver. I must say I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standard, Lord Van Zieks. But I'm Magnus McGilded, a fella known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case that you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts. Adapt the facts? What does that even mean? When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Oh, Van Zieks, this will not do it, to be sure. Will it now, counsel? Oh, no. Sure. I think it's fair to say, this does all sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? But if yous will all cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood in it without the world and his wife seeing? Again, we go back to the smoke incident. Isn't that right now, counsel? It's true, the omnibus has been in full view the entire time that court has been in session. My learned friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter, in your own words. As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? If you're asking me, I think it could have been possible. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best I can. But still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. There is no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility.
Oh, good gracious. Explain yourself, counsel.
Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from this deceit.
Deceit?
I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. Sorry, I was taking the opportunity to drink. The courtroom was filled with smoke and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and in all the chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. Are you wise? What are you trying to pull, you rotten, feckless gouger? Feckless gouger? You're supposed to be defending me. It's a wicked plot. It is a plot to undermine me, so it is.
Objection!
Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus.
Inconsistencies such as...
To start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning.
Unfortunately, Lord Van Zieks, no one is able to corroborate your claims.
That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut.
Accordingly, I'm afraid to say we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not.
Indeed, my lord. No doubt there's not a single person who saw fit to verify such things. What do you think? Sorry? About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? I mean, yeah, the bloodstain on the carpet. Annie, are you... my lord.
Yes, counsel?
There is one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial.
What?
What in the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare betray me, you little maggot, you'd better start watching your back, do?
Silence, McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification.
Yeah. This trial keeps swinging one way and then the other. I have no idea what's the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here?
I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel. Where exactly is this alleged mark you claim appeared at some point during the trial?
Pretty sure. Can I not even... Okay, I was going to say, I can't even get to it?
Got it!
The music didn't stop. If we consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this bloodstain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom.
Good Lord. Yes, I do believe you're correct, Counsel.
Well, I mean, is it still wet? If it was that recent, how the hell did it get there? Well said. Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that is a very careless slip of the tongue. I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine, or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. This trial is over. Mr. McGilded? I've done everything I could possibly can to cooperate the court, but it is all over now. But you're the defendant. It's over, I tell you. Memory, recollection, what people think this are. It is all nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is that the bloodstain is there, now. Well, and over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it has been, good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought better of Lord Van Zieks. Well, my lord?
I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence, and in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue.
Your lordship can't be serious.
Lord Van Zieks, what is your position?
Prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present.
Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first.
What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilded will be found not guilty. Yes, which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Is it really all right for the trial to come to an end now with all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please.
Yes, my lord. The defense believes. I mean, I don't necessarily think that he is guilty. I think that that is quite possibly a red herring and that he is, in fact, possibly innocent. But that he is covering for somebody. I mean, there are still so many open questions, and this game doesn't really... I don't recall Phoenix Wright ever being like that. Like, you get closure on everything. But there's definitely more going on here, I feel. I am here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGilded. However, at this moment in time, I cannot, in all good conscience, attest fully to the defendant's innocence.
What are you saying, man?
Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there is also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent.
Good gracious me. Order! Order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused's innocence into question. Are you out of your mind?
Okay. Ah, 'twas a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was. A grand decision. What? I must say, I didn't expect quite such an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still. Here, have this for your troubles. My other eye. Ah. Your job here is done, fella, and some fine work you've done, so you have. What do you mean? 'Tis just as the right honourable gentleman so succinctly put it before. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how do you put it now, nothing more than a formality.
I really don't know what to make of all this.
Would you stop going between... I hate going between those two because I made their voices so damn similar I can't remember what they are.
Was the evidence we've seen genuine, or was it fake?
His lordship would be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of properly, as I said. Stinking rich are always guilty of something. You mark my words. I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us the lovely park.
Now that proceedings have unfolded in this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea.
Thank you kindly, my lord.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection!
But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth.
Lord Van Zeeks,
My lord.
the case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place.
My sincerest apologies, my lord.
Objection!
But wait! When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zeeks ordered the evidence to be secured.
I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so unfair. What are you doing? Shut up.
The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. What?
Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. As for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
Do you mean to tell me that this has been a grand waste of time?
'Tis the law of the land, my lord, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law. Magnus McGilded, yes. Good grief, you more to say to me, have you? Just one thing, a warning. This is far from over. Well, something to be looking forward to then. Okay.
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded, not guilty.
Yeah, so we'll be staying here because obviously the story's going to come back around to this at some point. He'll be the mastermind behind something else and or connected to something else along the way. I'll have to remember all the goddamn witnesses and this stupid thing.
This is outrage. They should have examined the evidence more. What are you talking about? The man's been cleared. He's innocent.
Mummy, Oh, no, no, this time not even the child? What the hell's going on? With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict, and my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty, ostensibly a victory for us. Where's my 1,000 guinea? I say we take it and get out. If we end up being frenemies with Van Zeeks, it once again has parallels to Phoenix Wright. Heavily. 5:14 p.m. That certainly was a long trial. Yes, it was. You're telling me, what was that, like 5 episodes worth? Your first ever trial on foreign soil, and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Miss Susato. Thank you for your assistance. Yeah, no shit. The whole pulling out the, oh, by the way, there's this obscure bylaw. I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection. Aye, that you did. Mr. McGill did. Ah, and that girl's with him too. Well, it seems the stories are true. Oh, what stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yes, definitely. I'd heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I've told you I've yet to take, I suppose. We're having an opportunity to see it. Okay. I don't know about that, but I'm not really sure I did anything. What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there a free man, then? I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. You're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Ah, 'tis water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared. But nothing's resolved. There's only one thing that matters to me. Oh? Hey. We've all seen that I didn't do that odious and obstinate deed. Obstinate deed? What was that word? I just could have... Is grand, is it not? I suppose it is. Now the fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters in hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in it, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay. It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed aforehand, 1,000 guinea for your troubles, fella. Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much. Ryunosuke, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, be whist. You're a humble people, are you? You're from the East. Well, if you insist. My third eye. What have this still and all? You deserve a reward. Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything's ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. To the courtroom? What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe. Oh, I hope it's not an inconvenience, sir. There were some changes in the schedule. He's in another court case. Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. They're going to examine it again? Now? Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing my best to help where I can. It's a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, fare thee well. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you. I hope you have a whale at a time while you're studying here in Great Britain. And there he goes, a free man. Oh, I forgot she was here too. It was a highly impractical weapon you have there, lady. Don't move! Whereas, I want to say, gotta move on. She really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down? You're a grown-up. Sorry? And I hate grown-ups. Oh, there you are! Oh, shit. Another character? Naughty, naughty, running off like that. Is this some kind of picnic? I don't know. Is this her sister, maybe? Who's this little girl now? And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. How ever am I going to differentiate the two? Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me. Excuse me, but who are you? Oh, good day to you. The inventor, I suppose. That machine. The inventor. Well, normal smoke grenades are so dope, don't you agree? White, white, and more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty color, I thought to myself. Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though, at all? I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst I was changing into a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, fitted it with a telegraphic beacon. What? I have no idea what this girl is talking about. Anyway, you're coming with me now, back to my laboratory. What? What for? To apologize, of course, silly. To my technician. What? You mean, say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? I don't listen to no adults. Come along then, follow me. On, have it your way. Oh, good. You see, I know you'd want to do the right thing in the end. I don't think she has the same accent at all. I'm fairly sure that what she wants is not to get shot by that massive gun of yours. We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye! I'm so sorry for all the fuss. She was a lively one. Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now, too? Yes, you're right. But where to? Oh, we haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend a day in search of lodgings. But at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck. I mean, are there no inns? Don't worry, though. I have a plan. If the worst comes to worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night. Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park. I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through. I'm not so sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one. Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable. Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room, or mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead, just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned. The case was far from over.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick! What the? How did this happen? I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating. No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there.
This can't be.
Speak, damn you! Now we'll never know what he sounds like. So he gets to be all of the accents, all at once, until he speaks. Okay. So yes, now there's some certainly shady shit going on here. I mean, I guess I could just start overriding some of this stuff. I don't need to keep going all the way down. Sure. So, episode 4, 5... Okay, yeah. So there's 2 more episodes in this game, and then there's a whole nother game. And of course, there's the extras. Yeah. Which we'll pick up next time.